Thank you so much for joining us today for the Pastor's Potluck Podcast. Here on the Pastor's Potluck, it's similar to a normal potluck where you might get something that you want and there may be something that you just want to pass up altogether. And that's okay. There's something here for everybody. Our goal here is to encourage you and maybe in the process entertain you. If you're ready, let's dig in. Well, it is another day for the potluck to begin. It's another Friday.
I'll tell you what, the thing with this drink, you have to drink it fast.
Oh, yeah, because once it gets watered down.
Yeah.
And it's that, you were telling me it's the vanilla iced coffee from McDonald's.
Yeah. And I've already had my Alani Nu, and I'm having to drink this fast. So I got a lot going on.
Well, I think you have a lot that you need to get done, so you're like doubling it up.
That's why I did. I did that. I should have waited till after this and gone down and got this.
Yeah.
For what I have to do after this. But
Yeah.
I forgot about this.
Oh.
I thought I'd be writing my sermon right now in the middle of this caffeine craze.
Yeah.
And instead I'm talking, this is going to go just fantastic. We could do this whole thing of mystery meats today. I'm in one of those moods.
Really?
Let me give you some opinions.
We're going to tell you how
What kind
much
of hat is that?
I don't know. It's a horn. It's called a hornady. It's a type of bullet.
Oh, okay.
It's a hunting hat.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Right.
It's happening. It's happening.
Sweet.
Yeah. The weird thing is it doesn't have like that little circle thing on the
doesn't.
top. Like,
It doesn't. I'm sporting the new For the Future
yeah, I need to get one.
Southridge church hat. You do. Because they're for the future.
Yeah. My future, though, I don't know if it involves a trucker style hat.
What?
I don't.
Hey, you know what's funny?
Even though, I think this one is a trucker.
It
style.
is. I remember,
just
like
couldn't
when
find my-
I was in school, like if you didn't have flat bills, like you were just lame. Like if you didn't have the flat bill,
Yeah.
5950 fitted hat, you were just lame. Like if you had a snapback like this, like it was lame. But now this is like the cool thing. Like flat bill 5950 fitteds are still cool, but like these are back in. Which is really funny. I would have never been caught dead wearing one of these ever.
I used to
And
wear
now
those
I
in like
actually
the
prefer
2000s.
the backward snap back to the regular. It may just be my head.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's very reminiscent of an egg.
My head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not so ovally, but
Yeah. Well, when I was at the beach, my baldness was a problem. It was a problem. I couldn't keep enough sunscreen on it.
oh man.
The sun at the beach is just different.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just it just lit my head on fire all day long.
So are you like one of the spray suntan guys? Or are you a
I
lotion
would
guy?
prefer. I like the spray for my body, but that spray stuff on my head, it has a tendency to leak down into my eyes.
Oh yeah, no, that's.
But I still do it
yeah,
because I'm not.
it's
gonna
quick
do-
and easy.
I'm not gonna buy two different things. I'm just gonna deal with a little burning in the eyes, and it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's a little bit more SPF for your eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly. And normally I've got sunglasses on, so that helps like protect a little bit. Even though, and Megan was very upset about this. I lost my Father's Day gift sunglasses
Uh-oh.
to a gigantic wave that just straight owned me. I mean, this thing just wore me out.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things, it like comes crashing down on me when I come up. I had sunglasses on when I went down.
Yeah.
When I come back up, it's just gone.
Yeah. I hate those
And-
ways because like you get to back to the surface and you're like
What
so
happened?
disoriented. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, what in the world?
And the first thing I noticed was that
I'm at the beach.
I was no longer seeing through sunglasses, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm sure those are here." Nope, those are gone.
Yeah.
Like those are gone. And Megan's like, "Why did you?" And everyone else still has their sunglasses who just went through the same wave.
Yeah.
So I don't even have that excuse. Like, well, it happened to everybody. It was like, no, it was just me because I I don't do the ocean enough to know that when you get hit by a wave, you're supposed to hold on to your sunglasses.
Yeah, because you hate the sand.
I hate the ocean. I hate the sand. I was doing it for the kids, and it cost me my stinking sunglasses, and it cost me about 15 minutes of very frustrated wife as well.
Yeah.
But then we found out that I get a free pair because it has one of those lost or stolen
Oh, yeah.
clauses on it. So I'm going to get them back.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
What
it's
kind of
very
sunglasses
cool.
are they?
It's MP3 Baseball. Mark Paul. He's a TikToker. He does very funny videos. But yeah, they have a lost or stolen thing, and so since they were clearly lost by a wave, I'm
Yeah.
not certain if they had stayed on my face that they wouldn't have been. The way that wave hit me, they were probably broken. I would not be shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, it hit me like I haven't been hit since college. Like,
I wish I could do sunglasses, but they're so expensive because I have to get lenses for them, like cut so I could see.
oh yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
They have those ones that you can fit over your current glasses.
Have you ever made fun of somebody that wore those?
100%.
I have too.
Yeah, yeah, and I would do that to you. That's why I suggested it.
Because I would just be walking around and have them like flipped up,
I mean, talking about the really big, thick ones that go on just over your glasses. They're like a second pair of glasses on your glasses. They're like glasses for your glasses.
Like the Bret Hart style.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like they are a mess. I want you to get those.
No, I don't.
But because like regular sunglasses now are like I buy cheap sunglasses because what happened at the beach could have happened anywhere for me. I lose sunglasses constantly.
Yeah.
So those were like $35, which is the most expensive pair of sunglasses I've probably bought in my life.
Yeah.
$35. I like going to the sunglass places and looking at all the Oakleys and the Maui Gems and all that. I'm like, those are nice, but
Never.
The amount of times that I have taken my sunglasses off in the car and then taken a turn too sharp and they end up at my feet and then stepped on them
Oh yeah.
is like it's I can't have expensive sunglasses.
No. I had sunglasses, so there was a like the last time I had glasses, which was like 8 years ago. I needed to go get my eyes checked, obviously, but I went, and so they had buy one get one free. So if you bought the frames and the lenses, you got the same exact glasses, but in sunglass form. So I had the ones that I have on in sunglasses, and I'm telling you, like a month later, like this is 8 years ago, so my kids are like really small.
Yeah.
And dude, it could have been 10 years ago for all I know. It's been a long time since I've had my eyes checked. But one of my kids I always set them in the bathroom just on the counter there. And so, like, whenever you get up in the morning, you put your keys in your wallet and all that. I always grab my sunglasses. And one day, one of my kids was able to reach up and just, figure out and feel around what was on the counter, opened up my glass case and just snapped them. I was so mad.
Just snapped them?
Yeah, because I paid I want to say it was like $800.
Yeah.
For stinking
Well, you
two
do
pairs
have
of
Lacoste eyeglasses.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty bougie.
Well, whenever you work in like the service industry and you get tips every single day, like
Yeah.
you're like, one day.
Just go back to work tomorrow and get more money.
Yeah. Like the way I bought our first TV whenever Eric and I got married, I went to Best Buy and we went and found a TV. We picked out, it was LCD screen, but it was like one of those ones that wasn't like really thin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because this is 10 years ago, or no, 13 years ago. And we walk in there and we buy this $800 TV with nothing but ones.
Yes. That's amazing.
Yes.
I bought a TV from a tax return, but the best part of that story was I had my father-in-law go with me because he had a big enough car to pick it up.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the trip that I asked him if I could marry Megan.
Oh, cool.
Which was like it was the most awkward conversation in a car. I had never done that before.
Obviously.
So it was like really intimidating. And so that was fun. That was my going to get a TV. story. So,
Alrighty, man. Well,
this is not going to be the last one of these today. I can guarantee you.
oh,
guys.
your drink, your beverage.
Yeah,
It's looking already like really watered down.
it is. It is, which makes it easier to drink, which also just increases the caffeine flow.
Yeah. Like getting it into your system quicker.
I actually downloaded the McDonald's app today. I've been putting it off for a long time. The McDonald's app is one of those things that you know you need to do, but you just haven't done it yet.
Well, I think there's like some sort of like level of guilt and shame whenever you eat McDonald's enough to where you're like, man, I should really download this app.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do it, you need to get points for it.
Yeah.
Like, because then at the very least it makes it more, like I got 20% off this morning.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like you eat
Oh,
McDonald's,
we eat McDonald's a lot.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but there's some level of guilt
Not
and
for me.
shame. Yep. Nope. That would be for me.
Not for me. Like our kids, their favorite food is probably McDonald's, especially for breakfast.
Oh, dude, their
So,
breakfast is so good.
If I can save some money I've always made fun of people that have like all those little discount cards and an app for everything. Like that's ridiculous. How do you
Dude, with the price of everything right now?
Exactly. Now I'm on board. I'm like, no, I'm gonna be that guy with the McDonald's app that I'm gonna start showing you how many points I've got every week.
You like qualify for like a McDonald's hat or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy my kids school supplies with my McDonald's app.
Dude, speaking of coupons, dude, we're like rabbit trailing it
It's
here.
all right. It's all right.
We went grocery shopping yesterday because we got back earlier in this week from our trip to Texas, and I had so many coupons saved up that we had saved like $25, $26 in just using coupons, like for regular stuff that we eat. Saved $26. I was very proud of myself whenever I looked at my receipt.
So you would do well with the McDonald's app then.
Yeah, well, I know about it, so
Yeah.
I think I have it. I just don't use it because I always forget to. But I had a buddy of mine, the children's pastor at the first church I worked at. Him and I were like always lunch buddies. It was like, where can we go that's going to be like we can eat the most amount of food for under $5?
Yeah. Well, that used to be McDonald's.
It used to be.
Yeah. It's
But
not anymore.
But on their app, they always have like a deal of the day.
Yep.
And you can get a full meal for like under $5.
Yeah, and I think that you're only allowed to use one deal per day on the app.
Yeah.
And I activated one this morning, but I don't know if it worked because it's still showing up on there. But they have a deal today. You can get a McDouble, fries, nuggets, and a drink for $5.
That's a really good deal.
Yeah, for there, because right now that would be almost like $10 at McDonald's now.
Yeah.
Like the dollar menu is no more.
No.
It's very sad. Taco Bell still has a dollar menu.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I remember whenever their tacos were like 69, 79, and 89 cents.
I know.
You know.
A soft taco there now is like $2.69.
Just for one?
Just one regular soft taco.
What?
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, but they still have that $5 box.
Oh, I love that.
Which is like 5 things for $5. So why is a regular taco, like a soft taco, $2.69?
I only get those boxes because they have that five layer burrito in it.
Well, see,
I love that thing.
I only like beef and cheese on my stuff from there. So I ordered that $5 thing and tell them take everything off except the beef and cheese.
Yeah.
It's like the burrito looks ridiculous because it's only a little bit of beef and cheese inside this big rolled up shell.
it's like 85% tortilla.
Yeah, but I don't like all that extra stuff.
You don't like the beans in it?
No, I don't like. It's not the flavor of refried beans that bothers me. It is the look and the texture fully. I don't want that. They gross me out big time.
Can we get into Gideon?
I know you're from Texas. That's probably like blasphemy for you, but I just can't stand the look. Just for when it comes out on a plate, there's no way anyone thinks that looks appetizing.
Well, you just eat it. I can't tell you
exactly. You do, but
I can't tell you how many times people.
Remember the first time someone brought that out on a plate to you? You're like, "Did you spill something here?" Like that's what it looks like.
Nah, you mix it up with your other favorite thing, rice.
No. Why is rice
together.
so bad?
It's not bad.
Gosh, Rice
But
is so nasty.
getting back on the bean talk, there's so many people in Texas that name like their dogs Beans. Because it's just a way of life.
Yeah, that makes sense though because I don't like dogs either. So yeah, I know. We got to move on.
I know.
I'm fully a cat person now. That's the problem. I don't feel like you can. It's like what Jesus said. If you love one, you'll hate the other.
Oh yeah.
I think he was talking about money there, but it applies to dogs and cats for me. Because when I had
You've been doing a really good job of fighting against bad theology,
Yeah.
and then you hit us with this.
Yeah. But when I was a dog person, I did not like cats. I used to preach like mean stuff about cats.
Yeah.
Now I'm a full-on cat person, and literally I can't stand to see a dog anywhere.
That's a shame.
I know.
You know what else is pretty amazing? I like my ice cream bowls pressed down, shaken together, running over.
Yeah.
If you want to combat it, there's some bad theology for you too. So, alrighty, we're getting back into it. Last time that we were on, we talked about Gideon. We talked about his kind of like being called into this position in leadership over the Israelites, and we talked about the big one was him questioning God to go and take on the Midianites, and God was giving him, or Gideon was asking him, God, if this is you, I'm gonna put out this fleece. I want the ground around it to be wet, and leave the fleece dry, and then vice versa, put the fleece out for the next night. I want the fleece to be wet and the ground around it to be dry. And then God answered him and gave him that confirmation. And so where we're at in the Bible this time is in Judges 7. And so this is we hear this story. I remember hearing this in children's church growing up. I don't remember
Because this is a weird story.
It is.
Like just it's kind of odd.
Yeah.
And like people will always ask me, so like just quick summary of the story.
Yeah.
Gideon's got to go fight. God says he has too many men.
Yep.
So he tells all the scaredy cats to go home. That's fine.
It's like 22,000 people.
Yeah, 22,000 people just dip out. But then the next part, when he takes them down and watches how they drink water, and that's how he's going to decide who's going to fight. That is weird. Like you go like, okay, God, I don't know really what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen anyone come up with like a really good explanation as to
why
that was God's way of choosing warriors. It's like if you drank water properly. But I was thinking about it this morning. What do you think about this idea? And again, if you don't know the story, after the 22,000 that were scared went home, there was like 10,000 left. God says that's still too many, so he takes them down. And the ones that just drank straight from the river, just without using their hands, God sent home. The ones that used their hands to cup the water and drink, there was 300 of them. That's who. Tell me what do you think about this? What if the ones that used their hands were so calm, cool, and collected about the prospect of going to fight that they just took their time, and that's why they used their hands? Where the other ones were maybe a little bit anxious and still on edge, and they probably should have left with the scaredy cats, that they were just like wolfing down some water like that. Do you think that could be what was going on? Or does using your hands to drink water have nothing to do with being calm, cool, and collected?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just a weird way. But what we find out is that only 300 people used their hands, and that's who God wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Or not, God didn't want to fight them, but God wanted to use them to fight.
It's a weird. I mean, could you imagine if we use
I can imagine having 32,000 people ready to fight, and God goes, "That's too many." And he's like, "Okay, well, how are we going to choose the ones to fight?" Well, I'd really like to see them drink water.
Well, I mean, could you imagine just being a part of any kind of selection process? You're a baseball coach.
Yeah.
You have too many kids, and you got to whittle it down. You're like,
I'm
all
going
right,
to bring
hey,
a
guys.
baby pool to my next tryout and find out which one of them laps up water like a dog, and that's probably the kids I don't want anything to do with. They're going to drive me insane for the next year. So the ones that know how to use their hand to cup water are probably going to be the ones that aren't going to be bouncing off the walls and the dugout the whole year.
It's weird. Like it's really weird. It's something like this is like I'm gonna get like really personal. Okay, not like where I'm just gonna like cry and share my heart or whatever.
I can't wait.
But there are times in my life whenever I get done brushing my teeth and I put the toothbrush in the little holder and I go and I put my mouth underneath the faucet to kind of rinse it out. And I go, I shouldn't be doing this. I should just put it in my hand and bring it up and
Wow.
drink it up. I don't know. It's because of this story.
Really? I don't use my hands for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't use my hands for that.
But
at
I
all.
guarantee you the next time that you do it, you're going to be like, why?
I'm not going to.
Well, I just
Because
want
I'm
to
not certain. I'm not
I want to be
certain
part
that
of the
there's-
300.
Yeah, but I don't know that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone's done some deep dive into this and can prove me wrong. I'm not certain there's any significance to it.
No.
I think the significance was that there was 300 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think bigger than all of that, why God even sent the first 22,000 home was like he makes a statement that if I let you take too many people and you all win, you're going to think that it's because of you.
Yeah.
And this is just like our normal problem.
Yeah.
As humans, as Christians, it's like we just have a tendency to take credit for all the good stuff and then blame all the bad stuff on God.
Ooh. Yeah.
We just like I'm preaching about that a little bit. Well, I guess this is coming out in 2 weeks, so I'm preaching about it last Sunday.
Yeah.
But I'm prepping it today. Like, we have this tendency, like when something goes wrong, it's God's fault. It's all God. How could you let this happen? How could you ever let this happen? And then like we get a
Promotion at work.
Promotion at work, and it's like, well, did you see how hard I worked? Did you see how amazing I did last quarter? Like,
Yeah.
and look, that may be true. But, like, we do have that tendency to take all the credit for good stuff ourselves and blame all the bad stuff on God. Like, I've been reading Job a lot this week and just looking at his story. And, like, the thing that I've always loved about Job's story is, like, when he snaps back at his wife at one point, he goes, will you only receive good stuff from God?
Yeah.
Or will you, won't you just receive both of it? Because Job understood that, it's all from God. God can use whatever situation comes along for your good. And so he's like trying to protect Israel here because Israel is so prone towards idolatry that they're going to come up with some way to push God out of the equation if 32,000 of them go on and win. Whereas when it's only 300 of them, they can only realize, because what he's trying to do is get them to depend wholly on him.
Yeah.
Right, like this is just a place where I'm at personally, in a lot of different ways. That God is just like, hey, I need you to just know that it's me. Like you're not going to be able to figure this out.
Yeah.
You're not going to come up with the answers. This is all going to be me. So the way when you look back, you will have a deeper trust in me on the other side. You won't be the next time things are good. You won't be so quick to think that it was you.
Yeah.
Like just in ministry, like next time things are going good, you won't be tempted to think, oh, it's because you're a great speaker or you're a great singer, guitar player, or, oh, it's because you're so strategic. What good ideas you have. Like that's what God is trying to guard all of us against.
Yeah.
Is like for the next time that things aren't going well or when things are going well, that it will deepen our trust in Him rather than in ourselves. I think that's what this story really is about more than anything, is Israel has an issue with pushing God out.
Yeah.
And this is a way of Him showing them very vividly, listen, it doesn't matter if it's 32,000 people, it doesn't matter if it's 300 people. Truth be told, it doesn't matter if it's one person.
Yeah.
I can still accomplish what I'm going to accomplish with or without you.
Yeah.
I don't need you, but I want you, right? Like that's the lesson that Israel just seems to fail on over and over and over and over.
Yeah. I think one of the things that, and I told you that this will kind of open it up a little bit for you to kind of expound upon, is previously we read about like Gideon and he needed those signs from God and, and like it's almost kind of like trust issues or maybe like self-doubt issues that he's got within himself, but also trusting God as well. And so what happens after this selection of the 300, in the middle of the night, God just says, hey, I want you to get up and go.
Yeah.
And so God is already, I think God is doing and showing something here that he's answering a prayer or meeting Gideon's need before he even knows that he needs this.
Yeah.
Because of God, previously, he's like, hey, man, I wasted 2 days trying to figure out, if this is like really you by doing the fleece and everything. But God wakes him up in the middle of the night. He says, get up, go down to the Midianite camp, for I have given you victory over them. But if you are afraid to attack, go down to the camp with your servant Purah. Listen to what the Midianites are saying, and you will be greatly encouraged. Then you will be eager to attack. I think God is doing something and showing that, hey, I know you. I know you really well. I know your insecurities. I know your faults. But I'm going to go ahead and provide something for you before you even ask it from me. And it's crazy. Like so many times I know that in your life and in my life that God knows us so well that he's already provided something for us. He's already provided an answer. He's already provided a way. He's already provided provision, just whatever it could be. Like God has already taken care of our needs before we even know or think about it.
Yeah.
And has there been any time in your life where maybe God has done that for you? I mean, that's a good thing to pull from that. Am I wrong in looking at it that way?
Yeah, like God shows Gideon in the middle of the night. He takes him down to the camp, and like he realizes that the people in that camp are terrified of him. They know that they're already defeated. So he goes ahead and shows Gideon, like, hey, I'm going to take care of this. This happens quite often, I think, in our lives if we'll pay attention to it, that God just kind of comes through in ways that we don't really expect.
Yeah.
Like this is just the most recent example of this is we've had some issues here with some of our technology.
Yeah.
With our screens, projectors, which it feels weird to me to go like, oh man, those are such necessity because there's people that like all around the world worship every weekend without that sort of technology. But like for us here, it has just become part of what we do. And so it's been like a hindrance to us. And we were operating with one screen for a little while, which was like, it was weird. Yeah. Especially like if you're new. Like you're like, why do they only have one screen?
Yeah. And,
like,
and
it's not in the middle.
Like it's sitting on the opposite side of the building.
It's like, that's really weird. And then when I come back from vacation, that first Sunday, the second one just goes down. Just goes down. I'm like, okay, so this is going to be really weird because you don't realize it until it happens that like a lot of our service stuff we do on screens. Like we have slides that roll before service. We have a countdown. That countdown is rendered completely useless if they can't see it.
Yeah.
Like I read from my screens. People look at the screens. We sing songs from the screens. And so it was like, with both of them being down, it was just like, oh my gosh, this is like, how are we going to fix this? Like, how are we going to fix this?
Yeah.
And then, like, immediately after one of our services, someone comes up and says that they'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, God, I don't know, like, why I doubt sometimes when things don't look good. Because I know that, like, time and time and time again, you've come through. I don't know why I do that. Because it's like every time something happens in my life or in my ministry or anything, my immediate reaction is, this is going to be as bad as it can possibly be.
Yeah.
That's my, like, go-to immediately. Like, this is going to be the worst.
Yeah.
And then all the time, like, God just ends up taking care of it. Like, I don't know that it's ever been as bad as I initially thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Ever. I can't imagine the amount of time that I have wasted worrying that the worst was going to happen.
Yeah.
When I know God's track record is that very rarely ever does happen. And then even if it did, that it would still be okay.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the amount of time that's probably been wasted on that for me. of not trusting that God's going to come through, even though He has, like, more times than I could ever begin to, like, fathom how
Yeah.
many times that, like, something was going to, like, if something comes up, like, 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 we've had different stuff over the last, like, couple months at church that I thought, well, this is going to be the nail in the coffin type deal. Like, this is going to be just the worst thing I've ever dealt with in ministry. That's ultimately a lot amounted to nothing.
Yeah.
Or, like, there's been times that like, I knew that there was a conversation coming. It was going to be a really difficult conversation. And I'll tell Megan all the time, like, there's no way this is going to go good.
Yeah.
This is going to be awful. And she's like, all right, we'll see. And then, like, we'll go into those
Yeah.
conversations or those issues or whatnot, and it'll come out even better than anyone could have imagined. And I'll go, like, why do I always think it's going to be as bad as possible when God's track record is that He normally, if not always, brings it out better than I expected. I don't know why I do that. I don't know why we have a tendency as humans to do that, given the fact, but it's probably just because we forget so much.
Then I
How
think
many
we're
times?
drawn. I mean, just I don't know. Maybe it's just in our nature, but we're drawn to things that are destructive in nature.
We
What-
are. Well, and I think some of it is like we do have a tendency, some of us, to lean towards the pessimistic, negative side.
Yeah.
And then also, some of us really like that because that gives us something to complain about.
Yep. It's
Gives
natural.
us something to complain about. Because if we're being honest, like, what we all really want is for other people to understand what it's like to be in our shoes.
Yeah.
And so, like, sometimes we'll share those, like, miseries and make them out to be worse than they really are, the way people will kind of feel sorry for us in our current position. Like,
Isn't it funny sometimes too? Like whenever we're trying to describe this to someone, we add so much to it to make it sound like much more worse
Yeah,
than what
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
actually is.
like, people that go, like, this has been something that's, like, been irritating me so much lately. Like, people that, like,
Something's
I
irritating
know,
you.
right? People that, like, live their life on Facebook and, like, it's one constant pity party.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, but why? Like,
yeah,
why do you want everyone to know all of that stuff about you? Like, why what is the goal? Like, what does putting your life out on Facebook or on Instagram, what does that do to help solve the problem?
yeah,
I understand there's a cathartic nature in getting things off your chest, but that's what, like, friends and counselors are for.
yeah,
That's not what social media is for.
yeah,
And, like, but, like, honestly, a lot of us, we want people to recognize us in our pain, so that way they'll feel sorry for us. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Like, and then when we do describe the situation, sometimes it's like we're going to embellish
yeah,
quite a bit, you know. But some of that, and again, some of it is just the human condition. Like, we want people to understand what it's like to be us.
yeah,
This is my issue, like, all the time. Like, when I'm trying to explain stuff to Megan doesn't have that, like, doomsday outlook on anything, really. Like, when I'll tell her stuff's going on here at the church or stuff's going on with our baseball team, or me personally, she'll be like, it's going to be okay. Like, not a big deal. And I'll be like, no, listen, like, the sky's falling. Like,
Erica does this. She's the
like,
same exact way.
she's, like, unaffected. She's like, it's going to be fine. It's,
Yeah.
like, it's not a big deal. And so sometimes, like, when I'm talking to her about it, I'm like, listen, what I want you to say is, gosh, that sucks. You know, being the lead pastor of a church must be really hard.
Yeah,
That's what I want everyone to say, right? But truth be told, that's what I want everyone to say is, like,
yeah,
man, being the one that, like, or I'll tell her something about going on our baseball team, and she'll be like, it's not that big of a deal. I'll be like, no, what I want you to say is being the head coach of a travel baseball organization
yeah,
is hard. And I see that it's hard. Like, that's what we want people to say to us, but, like, and so that's why we end up sharing all of our miseries. with people because we want them to try to empathize with us. But like on some level, like goodness gracious, like that's why you have to have people in your life that you can share that with.
Yeah.
Right? Because like my friend Jason, he's the best at this. He's the best at like when I call him, he doesn't go, man, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It's, man, that sucks. Because like sometimes when we do this, we're not looking for people to fix our problems. We're just looking for someone that will fill our problems with us for a minute.
Just empathize.
Like that's all that we're looking for at times. And so like that positive outlook that Megan has, that Erica has,
drives me nuts.
there is a time and place for that, because people like me and you, we can't get stuck in the doomsday mentality. We ultimately have to have those positive polys to come pick us up and pull us out of that.
Yeah.
But like in the initially, we want someone to like recognize with us, like, hey, it's what you're going through is hard.
Yeah.
What you're going through is difficult. What you're going through sucks. That's so necessary. I don't really know if any of that has to do with your question or Gideon, but you did say that whatever you said was going to open up the floodgates, and it did.
Well, I mean, it's like this is, I think what you're getting at is that God's faithfulness is always going to be there in the times that are good and the times that are bad, and we need to just be open and aware to recognize those things.
Yeah. Well, because if you remember, Gideon,
our situation is not. We are not defined by our situation that we are in. We are defined by what God is going to do in that situation, and that's ultimately going to bring glory to Him. And we have to be just open and see those things. Whenever things are going good, we have to give God credit for those things in our lives. Whenever we get pay raises, whenever we get good news from the doctors, whenever we finish paying off the mortgage, whenever we finish paying off the car bill, whatever it is, whenever we get debt-free, that's not because of what we did. It's because of what God did, and we have to give God the credit for it. And then we also have to understand that God was working through that whenever we did feel like it was a doomsday event. Whenever we got the initial bad news from the doctor, whenever we got that first mortgage bill, whenever we got all those things that we were just like, holy cow, like this is a big task, this is a big undertaking. But God is going to continue to be good. He's going to continue to be faithful, and we just have to make sure that we are being, like, our eyes are open to see God in every little detail and in every big detail of our life.
Yeah. And I mean, if you just look at the two chapters that we covered last week about Gideon, everything about him screams that he's not the type of person that should be in this sort of situation that God is putting him in.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. Like when we meet Gideon, he is threshing wheat in a wine press, which is a hollowed out place in the ground. He's hiding from his enemies.
Yeah.
When the angel of the Lord shows up, he tells him, like, I'm the weakest in the weakest clan. I'm the least likely to, like, what are you talking about? I'm not a mighty warrior. Like, there's nothing but fear and self-doubt. And then even not just self-doubt, but a little bit of God-doubt when he's sitting here going through the fleeces, like, oh, I really want to make sure it's you. I really want to make sure you're calling me to this, and on and on and on and on. And my guess is there's people that are wired like Gideon. There's people that are not wired like Gideon. I'm wired a lot like Gideon.
Yeah.
And so for people like that, like, sometimes we think like, oh, gosh, I bet God's so frustrated with me. I bet he doesn't want anything to do with me because of this. It's like, well, we actually see in the story of Gideon, especially like this appearance in the middle of the night, hey, go down to the camp and see what's happening, is like God is okay with your level of doubt. Mm-hmm. God is okay with all of that because he can help you through all of that. And so he goes and he shows Gideon all of this. And so like some of that like pessimism and doomsday mentality is a little bit of just like natural wiring in a way. Whereas some of us, we feel like, oh man, that's a big hindrance to God. And it's like, that's not really the case. Gideon was wired like that. And what God did was, rather than scold him for it, he gave him a special revelation of the victory that was already getting ready to come. And so he didn't scold Gideon for being scared, having self-doubt, or even doubting him.
Yeah.
Rather, he continues to give Gideon opportunities to see his faithfulness at work to build his trust.
Yeah.
Well, like just for some people, I think the journey to trust is just longer than other people.
Yep.
And that's been my that's been my personal journey. It took me 23 years of sitting in churches before I accepted the gospel.
Yeah.
I've been following Jesus now for like 12 years. My journey of trust and surrender and everything is a lot longer than what some people like just kind of are able to jump right into it. And so I think if you're one of those people that your journey to trust has been a lot longer, just understand God is not finished with you. He's not frustrated with you whatsoever. He is going to be faithful to you, but just look for those ways that he's trying to build your faith and trust and let him do that.
Yeah. Cast your cares onto the Lord before he cares for you.
Yeah, he does.
Alrighty, man. Well, the rest of the story is that after they go down and they fight, Gideon gives the soldiers a ram's horn, a clay pot, and a torch, and they surround the Midianites, and they just start lighting the torches, smashing the clay pots and blowing the horns, and then the Midianites actually start killing each other.
Yeah.
And they end up chasing them throughout this region and track down like the kings, and they kill them. And Gideon is in charge of the Israelites for like 40 years. For some reason, this dude's got 70 kids and multiple wives. I mean, coming from the guy that hid in the in the ground, you know.
Well, what's interesting
that's a big change of personality.
Yeah, like, and again, that's that Gideon's journey to trust was a lot longer than a lot of people's. But once it was there, it was like, okay, now I'm kind of invincible almost. Like,
dude, Christmas must have been a nightmare. Even though Christmas, obviously, but
yeah, but like you see how
birthdays,
God's faithfulness over time to Gideon ultimately built him into, the type of, warrior and leader and such. But yeah, I mean, we do see on the other side of all of the testing and stuff a different person.
Yeah.
I'm not certain that having multiple wives and 70 kids is and again, the Bible is not full of people that are set up as moral heroes whatsoever.
Yeah.
Most of the people that we look at, even the people that we highly value in the scriptures, like Gideon, are really broken people, like really broken people. Even though God made allowances for things like having multiple wives, it was never his original intention whatsoever. It still shows the brokenness of even someone like Gideon in this story. But yeah, so long story short, they meet, they fight the Midianites. They go on, and Gideon rules.
Yeah, for 40-something years, 40-plus years.
There's a little, after he's gone, his son has like a little uprising and all that. That gets stomped out. You can see that in like chapter 9.
Yeah.
I think next time, the next person I'm really interested to talk about is Jephthah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite stories that a lot of people skip over. So that's what I'm interested in next time.
Yeah, I'm interested in this mystery meat question.
Oh, I'm not.
Dude, you said you just wanted to do
a
whole episode.
But that was earlier. Now the caffeine is wearing off, and I've been talking forever, it seems like. I'm going to have to go back to McDonald's for another one.
This is a good one. Would you rather...
No.
Stop. Would you rather accidentally get locked out of your home or locked in your place of work for the night?
What?
Would you rather get locked out of your home or locked in your place of work for the night? Like, you have to spend one night outside of your home, or you have to spend one night...
You mean like sleep outside?
Yeah.
No.
Or locked inside the church?
No. I would much rather get locked in the church.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
There's all kinds of fun stuff to do here.
Dude, exactly. Especially Pastor Anna leaves her scooter around.
I'm not sleeping outside for anything.
Yeah.
I've been watching. I told you there was no chance I wasn't going to bring up this kid. I've been watching these videos of Ryan Trahan.
Yeah.
He's like making his way across America and Europe and all this stuff on one penny.
Yeah.
His like go-to place to sleep in these videos is a hammock outside. No.
I'd do
Nope.
it. I could sleep outside.
You would just go to a random neighborhood and throw a hammock up in their trees?
No,
That's what
I'm
he's
locked
doing.
out of my house. I'm not locked out of my neighborhood.
I'm talking about if you were in his situation.
Yeah, sure.
What about bugs?
What about bugs?
Yeah.
You just put your head in your shirt and just go to sleep. Yep.
No.
What about bugs? Bugs are good for you, except whenever they're flying in your face.
Bugs are good for you?
Yeah, they pollinate all the plants and stuff. So you don't even eat vegetables, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, I could do without those. Sleeping outside.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Especially like here, it gets down to like 60 degrees at night.
There is bugs everywhere in West Virginia.
It's not everywhere.
When you're outside, you're sleeping, you would wake up with so many bug bites. And probably stuff crawling around in your hammock.
Yeah, but I didn't choose to sleep outside of my house. I'm choosing to sleep at my place of work.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I mean, if I was forced to sleep outside, we just sleep outside.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm telling you, no. There is not a question in the world that leads to me sleeping outside.
Would you just like go to like Walmart or Target and sleep during the day until you're awake all night?
I don't know what I would do, but it wouldn't be sleep outside. I got some things I'd say off camera of what I would do.
Scott's going to jail.
Yeah, you get a warm place.
3 cots and a hot, or 3 hots and a cot. That's what it is.
I'm not sleeping outside for nothing.
Yeah.
Not ever, not in a million years, not even in a tent. No. I don't understand. I just do not understand that life at all.
Yeah. It's all good. Well, that's it for today.
Well, we had fun. I did.
I did too. You need to go get you another coffee, though.
I know. This thing wore off
I
fast.
think I'm going to go get lunch.
It's already lunchtime?
It's 11. I think I'm going to eat an early lunch.
Gosh, I just got to work.
I know. That's what it feels like, right? Alrighty, guys. We'll see y'all next Friday. Thanks for sticking around and being a part of today's episode. Later. Thank you so much for listening in with us today. We really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and you can also watch the video version of this on YouTube as well. All you have to do is search up the Pastor's Potluck Podcast. From all of us here, we want to say thank you, and we'll see you next week.